Hi guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a new vlog. Welcome to March's reading vlog. As you guys can tell by the title, we're doing attempting to finish every series I'm currently in the middle of, because as a mood reader, I have about 1 million books on the go right now, and I just love to start books, start series, stop them, not because I'm not enjoying them, but because I just want to read other things. And also I have this really bad habit of not wanting to let really good or my favorite book series go. I do this with TV shows and movies as well. So I'll get to the last season in a TV show, the last book in a series, and not want to read it because I don't want it to end in my head. And so I decided it was finally time to tackle some of the series that I have been putting off finishing, and then also just make my way through other series that I'm currently reading. These books that we're gonna read throughout the next few months, because I want to make this a monthly series, I think that could be so fun, range from being 80% done the book. For example, in this video, I really want to finish Redeemed, which is the last book in the Dirty Air series. And I'm currently at 78% of that book. I literally just stopped it because, not that it wasn't great, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 5-star read. I just stopped it because I didn't want the series to end yet. I feel like this would be good to improve on myself as a person, to learn to be okay with things ending and finishing and wrapping up, because that's just life. I think I'm gonna aim to, I was gonna say read 3 books, but because a lot of these books I've already started or I'm part of the way through, I feel like 3 books is pretty attainable for the week. And because I'm a mood reader, who knows what we're gonna read, honestly. We're just gonna let the book series tell us. But I track all the series that I'm reading on Notion. I thought it could be fun, because this is the first video in the series, to go through literally all the series that I'm in the middle of and kind of where I am, and I'm sure I'm missing some as well. So we're gonna do a rapid fire, all the series that I'm in the middle of before we get into the video. So I have them divided up into different genres. So under romance, we have the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher. I'm 80% done Redeemed, which is the last book in the series. Chestnut Springs by Elsie Silver. I still have to read the last book in the series, which is Hopeless. Parks Universe, I haven't read either of the Daisy Hates books, and I'm waiting for my book to come in, or my copy to come in of Into the Dark, because I ordered it from the UK with the original cover. Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark. I have the last 4 books to read. So Savage Lover, Bloody Heart, Broken Vow, and Heavy Crown, but those are all interconnected standalone, so I can read them in any order. YA, which is just a mix of all other genres. I'm 10% into Bad Blood, which is the last book in the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I'm 30% into The Inheritance Games, which is the Inheritance Games trilogy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I am currently 20% into Clockwork Prince, which is the second book in the Infernal Devices trilogy. I am 20% into The Kiss of Deception, which is the first book in the Remnant Chronicles by Mary E. Pearson. Are you sensing a theme here? I'm 30% into The Awakening, which is the first book in the Zodiac Academy series by Carolyn Peckham. I'm 40% through the second book in a historical romance duology that I'm not really sure if we can talk about on the internet again, or if we're still boycotting it. But it involves a typewriter, so I'm sure you can figure it out. But I don't want to read that book until I can talk about it online, so I'm just kind of waiting to see if it's still being boycotted. I am 20% into That Time I Got Drunk and Needed a Love Potion at a Werewolf, which is the second book in the Mead Mishaps trilogy by Kimberly Lemming. I am 50% of the way through Half a Soul, which is technically book 1, but I know there's a novella that goes before it in the Regency Fairy Tales series by Olivia Atwater. That one is a high priority. I really want to get that one done. Currently 10% into Guild, which I don't even remember starting this. I started it 2 years ago, so I might have to go back and restart it, but I did place a hold for the book at the library because I really want to get back into it. And that is the first book in the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy. I have the second book to read in the Legends and Lattes Little World Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. Some of these series I'm waiting for the next book to come out. So for example, I read Powerless, which is the first book in, I think it's going to be a trilogy by Lauren Roberts, but the novella comes out next month, Powerful. So some of these I'm kind of stuck. I can't really do anything until the next book comes out. I am 15% into One Dark Window, which is the first book in the Shepherd King duology by Rachel Gillig. Read the novella for Crowns of Nyaxa by Carissa Broadbent. 35% into The Serpent and the Wings of Night. In terms of thrillers, I am 10% into The Thursday Murder Club, which is the first book in that series by Richard Osman. I am on the 3rd book in the Finley Donovan series by Elle Cosimano, which I believe is Finley Donovan Jumps the Gun. And then I'm 10% into the first book in the Veronica Speedwell series by Deanna Rayburn, which is A Curious Beginning. And yeah, so I'm in a lot of series, and one of my goals, like I said, for 2024 was to get better about finishing books. So that is our mission, and I feel like if I do 3 every month, I could probably tackle a lot, honestly, by the end of the year. So anyways, I'm super excited to jump into this video. I've got a nice hot cup of tea. Let's figure out what we're gonna read first and start finishing some series, shall we? Hi guys, happy Monday. It's actually the next week after I filmed this intro, because if you keep up with the vlogs, you would know we had the February from hell, and we are still having the February from hell. And I recorded this intro last week. I didn't really do much reading last week, and I decided this week we're gonna film the video, and hopefully life cuts us a little bit of a break considering March is just around the corner. So I'm going to give you guys my current rundown on the books I want to read, but as we all know, I'm a mood reader, and so this might entirely change. But I can tell you that the first book I'm going to read or finish is Redeemed, which is the last book in the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher. I felt like this was the best place to start because I am 80% done it. And I started this in September. I've been sitting on finishing the last 20% since the end of September because I don't want the series to end. But I figured this was the week to do it. You know, F1 is back this week. We're in Bahrain. It just felt like a full circle moment, considering this series is what like kind of introduced me to like my love of F1 back in 2021, 2022. I guess we should probably start this vlog off with the book that I'm the furthest into to kind of get me back into it. I also feel like I'm kind of somewhat in a book slump as well, so hopefully this will help. And yeah, if you guys haven't heard of the Dirty Air series, it is a 4-book series that are interconnected standalone romances, which just mean that you can read them all separately in any order, but you will get kind of like, not Easter eggs, but you'll get crossover scenes with different couples from different books. And so obviously with this being the last book, you get 3 different couples that cross over into this book, which is nice. And they're all the men are kind of part of this F1 team called the Bandini. So yeah, but I guess I can give you guys a little bit of a synopsis. We're kind of coming into this book a little late, but this book follows our 2 main characters, Chloe and Santiago. Santiago is an F1 racer for Bandini, and he had an accident a few years back where he lost a leg, and so he's kind of in this, not like woe is me, grumpy man, like hides in his house, never wants to race again. And then we have Chloe, who we kind of briefly met in previous books, and Chloe wants to figure out who her father is. She doesn't know, so she does this ancestry kit or like test and finds out her like ancestors and her family are in Italy, and so she goes to Italy to hopefully find her dad. I'm gonna save like the actual story of how it happens, but basically she ends up in Santiago's house like trying to get her phone back, I'm pretty sure. So she kind of like breaks in, and Santiago and his family are there when she breaks in, and so Santiago introduces her as his girlfriend to like his family because they're like, who is this like beautiful girl? So there's a bit of fake dating in this as well. A small town romance in Italy, which is like the best thing ever. My favorite thing is like small town romance in like small country towns like Chestnut Springs. And so a small town romance in Italy is just like so fun and a little bit different. And I love all of Lauren Asher's books. They're just very entertaining and fun, and they have really great character development and a great balance of like character and plot and spice. So yeah, we're obviously pretty far into it. I just finished work. I'm gonna sit down and finish this, and then if I'm in the mood, since I only have like 50 pages of this left, I might start another book, but we will see. My goal for this video was to do like 1 romance, 1 thriller, 1 fantasy, and then I don't know, whatever else. But as we all know, I'm a mood reader, so we'll kind of just see what I end up finishing. Next, I think I'm going to start/restart Guild by Raven Kennedy, which is the first book in the Plated Prisoner series. Technically, I did start this and get 10% of the way through back in 2021 because when I re-downloaded it on my Kindle, like because it's on Kindle Unlimited, if you've ever read the book before, it'll show you where you were, and it says I'm 10% of the way through, and I don't remember it. So technically I started it already, but I'm gonna restart it. And this just sounds so good. This, I believe, is a King Midas retelling, where it just says the myth of King Midas reimagined shows the dark side of greed through the eyes of the woman he gold touched. This compelling adult fantasy series is as addictive as it is unexpected. With romance, intrigue, and danger, the gilded world of Aurea will grip you from the very first page. This just sounds so good. It's like a 6-book series, and they're all on Kindle Unlimited, which is great. I think I might do this next, but then I also really want to read one of the books in the Brutal Birthright series. And then I also really want to finish That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf. And I'm like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20% of the way into this. This book's only like 200 pages, I think. 244. And I'm already on page 34. So maybe this is like literally what goes through my head when I'm trying to figure out what I want to read next. I decided to pick back up the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark. I stopped because I wanted to wait until all the new covers came out. They're so beautiful, stunning. And I'm currently about 40% of the way through Savage Lover. I'm not loving it. Like, it's good. I feel like I should just finish this and then I can start Broken Vow if I want. So this is literally like I'm saying this out loud in my head. I think I'm going to finish Redeemed. And then in terms of books that like I'm percentage of the way through, I should do Savage Lover next because like I said, I'm about 40% of the way through. Then probably do Guild. And then I should also finish Have a Soul because I'm 50% of the way through that. But anyways, we can decide after, but let's go ahead and finish this off. I'm not ready. I kind of want to just sit here and read. Honestly, I don't want to move because I'm so comfy, but yeah, let's do it. Oh my gosh, why is this man so sweet? I'll always love you because you're my hidden beauty in a world of weeds. I'm not a crier in books, but sometimes this book, I feel like I might get a little emotional. You guys, that's a wrap. It's done. Why am I kind of sad? That's a wrap. 5 stars, of course. The third book I didn't love so much. What's it called? Wrecked. But the first 2 books, Throttle and Collided, were 5 stars. Second book, I think I gave like 2.753. This is for sure a 5 star. I wasn't sure at first how I was gonna like it compared to the other 2, but honestly, the character development in this is amazing. And Lauren Asher just like has a really beautiful way with words, and I feel like Santiago's character development was like fantastic throughout this, and I love reading the last book in an interconnected romance standalone series because you get like all the past, like the first book in a series is obviously great, but the last book is so special because you get all the glimpses from the characters from the previous books. And I love nothing more than when an epilogue has like everyone come together for like a big family dinner or something. It's just like my favorite thing ever, like the found family element. So, and now I think I'm going to finish up Savage Lover and spend not the evening reading this because I think we're going to actually, ironically, we need to finish Drive to Survive tonight. We have a few more episodes of the new season, which I'm not really loving, I'm not gonna lie. It's between obviously reading in bed tonight and then hopefully reading tomorrow morning. I should be able to finish this by tomorrow. We haven't talked about it, but this book follows Camille Rivera and Nero Gallo, and Camille is working as a mechanic in her father's shop, and her father is sick, and she also has a half brother she's trying to kind of, you know, keep afloat and not end up on like the wrong side of town. And then Nero, we obviously have seen from the first 2 books, he's a Gallo, he's part of a mafia family, and you know, is getting around, he's burning houses, he's doing mafia boy shit. And basically at the beginning, we see that Nero saves her from like a really risky situation. And then they aren't really friends, like they know of each other, but they obviously start to get closer. It just feels very YA. Like the book is not YA. It's obviously adult, like a very, there's like some spicy scenes in it, but it just, the setting feels very YA because they're just going to like all these like high school parties, it feels like, and there's like high school drama. And yeah, out of the 3, like this one being the third one I'm reading, this one feels the least mafia-y and the least dark romance. It just kind of feels like a normal romance book, which I guess if you don't like dark romance, you would like this, but like I love reading the Brutal Birthright series for the dark romance. So I'm not really like head over heels with it. It's good. I probably end up giving it a 3 star, but not my favorite in the series so far. But work on this guy and hopefully finish that up, and then I can give you guys a review. 1 book done, on to the next. Guild is just like calling my name. I don't know what it is about it, but I just want to pick that up so bad. So maybe I will, honestly. We'll take turns. I don't know. We'll see, but that's the update. having a great start to the day, but I'm gonna turn it around. And last night I ended up finishing Savage Lover by Sophie Lark. I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. It wasn't a bad book by any means. It just wasn't my favorite. And I feel like a lot of the reviews on Goodreads kind of say the same. It felt, it didn't feel very mafia-y. And obviously the series follows two rivaling families, like mafia families, and that's why I loved the first two books so much. Like I just loved the mafia vibes, like the you touch her you die, I'm like the baddest bitch, I kill people, I hunt them down, I'm in the mafia, but like I have a sweet spot for you. Like I just love it. And this book felt a lot tamer, which I guess some people might like. And I will say, if you've read the first two books in this series, I don't know if it's pronounced Nero or Nero. The male main character in this book is portrayed as this like very angry man. Once again, like you touch her, you die. Super intense mafia man, like killing people, burning houses, like shit like that. And then in this book, I found like his personality kind of shifted and he was just like this really sweet boy. So I feel like he wasn't really portrayed accurately. I kind of went into it expecting all of this angst and the fire and like the don't touch her, you'll die. And I didn't get that in this book. Wasn't my favorite book in the series. And I kind of want to pick up another one because I just love this world so much. And I think I'm missing Bloody Heart is the only one that I'm missing. I have still to read Heavy Crown and then also Broken Vow, which I kind of want to read this one because it's like a little cowboy romance, or I don't know how. Oh, it's because it's Riona. Okay, Riona Griffin. So the Griffins and the Gallows are like the rivalry two mafia families. And this just says her family hires Raylan as her bodyguard, a rancher. Ooh, okay, it's kind of giving like Twisted Love vibes. Ooh, okay, I could read this one. I don't know if I'll read it like right next, but I will probably pick another one of them up this week for this video. And then also, ooh, okay, this one has a Gallo in it. This has Sebastian in it. And Gallo couldn't believe it when he saw her being stuffed into a trunk. Yelena Yanina, only daughter of the vicious Bratva boss in Chicago. The Bratva hate Sebastian's family. In fact, they burned his uncle alive. He should have just left Yelena to her fate, but she fought like a Valkyrie. Sebastian had to save her. Ooh, okay, so it's probably like a forced proximity kind of vibe. I don't know which one I want to read next. I think I'm going to do Broken Vow, honestly. I think so. It just sounds so good. So I'm not sure if I'll pick this up next, but I hopefully will at least start this in this video. But that is my review on Savage Lover. I don't really know what I want to read next. Like I said, I'm in the middle of so many of them that it's kind of easy to just pick anything up. But I wanted to give you guys that review. I'm going to take my lunch break, finish my workday, film my reset, and then I will chat with you guys probably later this evening. But yeah, another book done. So excited. Feels so good. Okay, you guys, I just finished work for the day. Ended up filming my reset on my lunch break. I'm in the same exact spot, but I had a very special package that just came. But I don't think I'm ready to read it yet. I really don't think I'm ready for this chapter to be closed. This book is like, I don't want to spoil it, so one sec, let me get to the acknowledgements. 708 pages. Wow. Not sure how I want to go about this because I actually haven't read either of the Daisy Hates books. I've just read the Magnolia Parks books because I'm a hoe for Magnolia and BJ, okay? But I just don't know. I don't know, but I'm so excited to read this. This was the book that started this idea for the video because I was going to start it on the day this came out. I started reading it. I read maybe 4 pages. I was like, I'm not ready for this to be over yet. I'm not ready for the emotional turmoil this book is going to cause me, good or bad. So I put it down. I also want to take my time reading it. Like I want to cherish it because it is the last book we're going to get of Magnolia and BJ. Anyways, you guys will see what I end up reading. I don't know, but in the next clip you'll know, which is kind of freaky if you think about it. But anyways, let's figure out what we're going to read. Hi you guys, we have made it to the end of the week and I haven't talked to you in a few days and this is so well deserved, you guys. It's been a week from hell. Remember at the beginning of this video when I said, I really hope I catch a break and like life gives me a break the last week of February? It indeed did not. It indeed did not, which is why I haven't talked to you guys since Tuesday. I filmed some clips of me reading Wednesday and that's literally it. And I don't know what it is, but like with my normal vlogs, I'm so happy to keep it real and raw with you guys, but with reading vlogs, I feel like it's because with reading vlogs, I always think I'm gonna stumble across like new people and they're gonna be like, this girl's like life is chaotic, but this is just like real life and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It was another week from hell. It was another one. It was another one. Literally 2 seconds after I filmed that clip on Tuesday of me, actually no, before I unboxed my Magnolia Parks book, I got a call from my mom. And you know when you just like, you see the phone ringing and you just know something bad is, you know, I had that feeling. I was right. So we're just like dealing with a lot in our family right now. And then Matt called me. And then he also had bad news. And it was one of those days where, yeah, it was just one of those days. Wednesday was the weirdest weather ever. You wouldn't have been able to tell by the clips I took because I took them when it was raining out. But during the day, it was like in the 60s. It was like 15 degrees Celsius. I was wearing a t-shirt. I was sitting in the backyard reading my book on my lunch break when the dogs were playing outside. And then after work, it just poured rain. And then we started to get snow. It was like the weirdest day of weather ever. We started to get snow, but it was super windy. So it was like a snow squall is what we call it usually. And the wind was so loud. I'm pretty sure I have a clip. I'm going to insert it. I don't know if you can hear anything, but it was insane. I took the dogs for a walk around 5 before the snow really started, and then we were kind of like stuck inside for the rest of the night because it was so windy. So I was actually able to start and finish Guild in one day, which is not normal for me on a work week. We literally read so much yesterday, and it was kind of nice honestly to have an evening where we just like sat on the couch and read because we just like couldn't really do anything else. We were scared that the power was also going to go out too, so we were trying to like not watch TV or anything and charge our devices. We sat on the couch at like maybe 7 and read until 10, so like 3 solid hours of reading, like no phones. Then we went to bed. I fell asleep from about 10:30 to 11:30, and then the wind picked up again and I was awake from 11:30 to 3:30 in the morning. I was like wide awake, and I try not to scroll my phone like if I ever wake up in the middle of the night. If I want to, I'll read. So I read from 11:30 to 3:30 and I was able to literally finish Guild and start the second book, which once again is like not normal. So yeah, now we're all caught up. You know, I feel like the world needs more chaotic reading vlogs. Like I produce chaotic, real, raw, everyday, normal vlogs, and I want to bring that to the book world because I feel like sometimes the book world, she's a little too perfect for me. And so I'm just bringing my chaotic energy to the book world. So I hope you enjoy. I guess the one plus of the weird weather day yesterday was we got a ton of reading in, and I'm honestly pretty content because I was able to like finish 3 books this week. So I have a lot of reading updates to give you guys, and I'm trying to find my phone because I wrote down everything I thought about Guild. So let's start with that because that is the one I finished, and then we'll talk about the book I DNF'd, and then we'll kind of talk about what else I'm reading. I think I might end this vlog off tonight just because, well, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I don't think I'm going to finish a book tonight / tomorrow. I have a lot to say on Guild, so let's jump into it. I think I'm gonna sit at 4 stars. I had so much fun reading this, and I feel like for fantasy and romance or any book really, my rating goes based on like how much I enjoyed the book, and as a more like beginner intermediate fantasy reader, I'm gonna probably rate books different than if you're like an advanced fantasy reader. As like a beginner intermediate fantasy reader, I really enjoy books that are easy to understand, and so I kind of gave you guys a brief synopsis of the book. I think it was Monday when I got it from the library. A lot of the reviews on Goodreads say this is like one of those series where it just like gets better and better with every book. I feel like you either love or hate this book. Like it's like, well, it's not correlated to Magnolia Parks at all, but it's like one of those books like you either love it or you hate it. There's like no in between. There's no 3-star rating. It's either 1 star or 5 stars. I will say that this does have, I don't know, it kind of gives me Game of Thrones energy, and I don't really know how to explain it. And maybe if you've read this, you might understand what I mean. But in terms of just like the different lands and kingdoms, there's like, I think there's 6 or 7 of them. And there's a lot of like political intrigue and deception in this book, which kind of I think is what gives me the Game of Thrones energy. And honestly, I'm one of those people, I'm a very visual person when I read, and I have to like give characters an actor so I can picture them. And I literally gave them all Game of Thrones actors. Oren is Sansa Stark. King Midas is Jaime or Jon Snow, but I feel like Jon Snow's a little too nice to be King Midas. So I feel like Jaime Lannister is like a good King Midas in this. And then the queen is obviously Cersei, like the king's wife. And that's as far as I got. But in case anyone's wondering. Anyways, I gave you guys like the back of the book synopsis on Monday, but I'll tell you guys a little bit more about it in case you're interested. So this is taking place in a world that has like 6 kingdoms. Once again, Game of Thrones energy. And this takes place in the 6th kingdom mainly, where King Midas rules. And we're introduced to Oren at the beginning of this book, who is the king's, I don't want to say pet, but like his, like she belongs to him. Basically, when she was 15, she was homeless and part of like child trafficking, and the king, or Midas at the time, he wasn't the king yet, saved her. He's kept her for 10 years and she's so grateful to him for saving her, even though he keeps her in what they call the Gilded Cage, which is basically just like a section of the castle that's like cordoned off to her. And so this book starts when he kind of uses her as bait for another king. There's like an adventure component to this where they like leave the kingdom, and I honestly just had a lot of fun reading it. It is pretty dark romance. There's definitely some scenes in this, so I mean, if you're not into like, you know, dark romance stuff, you might not enjoy this because it is pretty spicy, if you will. But overall, I'm really excited to continue the series, and I really loved it. And last night at like 1 in the morning, I decided to start Glint, which is the 2nd book, and I'm really liking it so far. I'm about 3 chapters in, but I already really like that one is multiple POV. Excited to kind of get to know and like be in the characters' heads a bit more besides Oren. So anyways, I really enjoyed this. All right, guys, now we're going to talk about the book that I DNF'd, which makes me so sad, but is truly one of my most anticipated reads of the year. And a ton of you guys agreed with me on Instagram as well. And when I looked at the Goodreads reviews, the people that rated it low rated it for the same reasons as me. And once again, me DNFing a book or giving it like a 1 or 2 star, like doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. It just means that it wasn't for me. And this is actually my 3rd time trying to get into this book, and that is the last book in the Chestnut Spring series, which is Hopeless by Elsie Silver. I feel like the last book in a series is either going to be absolutely amazing or just a big letdown. I was really looking forward to this book because obviously we've got glimpses of Beau and Bailey in previous books, and those are the main characters in this one. Honestly, from page 1, I had no interest in it, and I personally thought that Beau, who was the male main character, was just like really bland, boring. Matt's gaming, if you can hear, by the way, and just had no personality to him. I had to give it like 3 chances, and I can just like never make it past like chapter 4. To be honest, this is like a brief, it's not really a spoiler, honestly, it's just like an irk, so if it's gonna bother you, skip ahead 10 seconds. But literally in the 2nd chapter, she calls him out on like drinking while he's drunk, or driving while he's drunk. And it's just like swept under the rug, and then no one ever talks about it again. And that's like one of my biggest pet peeves. What other book did that happen in? It happened in another book too. And I was just like, no, immediately I'm just like not finishing this. And I know it's something small, but it just like really irked me. This is just like a me thing, but military men just like give me the ick. I'm sorry. They just do, especially in books. And so I think that's why I was not super excited to pick this one up, because I feel like also too, this might be a me thing since I read a lot of dark romance and mafia, but I find it really hard to do feud stories. So this is like a feud romance. So Beau is obviously, we all know, like an Eaton boy who, if you've read Chestnut Spring, is like the ranch town, the big family in town, and Bailey is from like the wrong side of the tracks. And I just don't love the whole like feud romance line if it's not done mafia style, but I think that's just because I've read so many mafia books, so that could just be a me thing. I also just didn't enjoy the age gap in this one. I think he's 35 and she's like 21, 22, and usually that doesn't bother me, but in this book I think it's just because he was already giving me the ick. I was bothered by it. I feel like from the get-go it just lacked direction. It also lacked the charm that the other books have in the Chestnut Springs like universe. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna pick this back up again. I think I'm just gonna give it to someone who maybe will enjoy it a little bit more than me. To me, I'm just gonna think of it as a 4-book series, and all 4 books, the first 4 books, are amazing in this series, so please give them a go. Like, don't let this dissuade you from reading the series, because the series is amazing. I would just pretend it's a 4-book series and not a 5-book series. That's kind of where we're at in terms of what I'm currently reading. Like I said, I'm reading the 2nd book in the Plated Prisoner series. I'm still working on Clockwork. I always forget the 2nd book, Angel. I'm about 10% of the way through, and I'm really curious where it goes because it started with a little bit of like a, this is their task to do. So I'm really curious to see where that one goes. But I feel like The Infernal Devices is a series that I'm reading super slow because I just want to cherish it. Everyone always says like, oh, I wish I could read Infernal Devices for the first time again. So I'm really just trying to take my time with it. And then I'm also, how many pages now? Oh, like 45 pages into That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf. And it's just like a fun time. Honestly, I love the Mead Mishap trilogies. They're just like a fun, cozy fantasy, spicy read. So I might continue on with this. Honestly, oh my gosh, I'm just now reading the back where it says Cheesemaker Brie has the world's worst luck in love, which is how she ends up falling for a lactose intolerant werewolf. So I think I'm gonna continue on with this and kind of see where we get. I might give you guys one last update if I finish something, but I just don't know if I will, honestly, because we are going into the weekend, and not that we have a busy weekend, but I'm gonna start filming a weekend vlog. So I'm not too sure if I'm going to get to anything else in this video, but honestly, we finished 3 books, which is pretty good to me. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you want to see more of these, like finishing every series I'm in the middle of video, because I think it could be fun to do one every month. Because I honestly think it's a great way to like challenge myself to get through book series. And you guys obviously, I mean, vlogging, the reading vlog holds me accountable. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what series you're in the middle of. I would love to know, or your thoughts on any of these books, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.